significant milestone. Today also marks a different moment for our province and our nation as we establish the Border Management Authority. This authority will definitely play a pivotal role in ensuring the effective management and security of our borders, safeguarding our nation's interests and facilitating legitimate trade and travel. Musina, being a strategic location in our country's borders, hold immense importance in the context of border management. It serves as a gateway connecting South Africa to our neighboring countries, fostering economic growth and promoting regional integration. The establishment of the Border Management Authority in Musina will enhance our capacity to manage and regulate the movement of goods, people, and services across the borders. The victims of crime survey released in August by Statistician General Risenga Maluleka found Limpopo residents felt the safest in walking alone during the day and at night. Today's event will certainly add on to the level of confidence that our residents have already shown previously. The Border Management Authority will not only strengthen our national security, but also contribute to the growth and development of our province. It will create opportunities for trade, investment, and job creation, benefiting both our local communities and the broader community. Mr. President, as a province, we have identified Musina as the center for economic development. We have here Musina Makado Special Economic Zone that will be the center of development in this area. The security provided by the border management will add further to the potential growth in this area, and we will therefore welcome the launch today. As we embark on this new chapter, I urge all stakeholders to work together in a spirit of collaboration and cooperation. Let us harness the potential of this authority to build bridges, foster regional partnerships, and promote peace and stability within our borders. Once again, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our President for his unwavering commitment to the progress of our nation. Your presence here, Your Excellency, Mr. President, is a testament to your dedication to the well-being of our people. Thank you, and may this launch be the beginning of a successful journey for the Border Management Authority. I thank you. Allah, Allah, Mr. President, Allah, Allah. Allah, Allah, our President Ramaphosaa, Allah, Allah. Hey, Mr. President, hey, Kialebo.
No, thank you very much, Acting Premier, for those warm welcoming words to the province. Indeed, we feel warm. As you can see, it's 35 degrees now, so we feel very warm, and your words are adding there. Indeed, you are correct. We do have a responsibility to balance our economic interests and our economic development interests together with the security of this particular country. I would therefore wish to now call upon a medical doctor by profession, a statesman, a patriot, the former MEC here in Limpopo, the former Minister of Health in the Republic of South Africa, and the current Minister of Home Affairs in South Africa, Minister Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi. The floor is yours, Minister.
Program Director and my colleague, Deputy Minister of Home Affairs, Ren Jabulo Nzuza, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of South Africa, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosaa, Cabinet Ministers who are members of the Interministerial Consultative Committee on Border Management Authority, Minister Togo Didiza, Minister Kumbuso Ntabeni, Deputy Minister of Police, Rekasil Matale, Deputy Minister of Health, Resbongiseni Lomo, and of course, the Program Director, who is the Deputy Minister of Home Affairs, Ren Zuza, the Acting Premier of Limpopo, Resia Parosquati, and members of your Executive Council, Executive Mayors of Vembe and Kune Districts, Mayors of Musina and Tulamela, Council of the District and Local Municipalities, and Tribal Authorities, the Chairperson and members of the Portfolio Committee of Home Affairs, Chairperson Mr. Musa Chabani, the Commissioner of the Border Management Authority, Dr. Nakambe Mashia Pato, Deputy Commissioner for Corporate Services in the Border Management Authority, Mejen Tupano, and Deputy Commissioner for Operations in the Border Management Authority, Mayor General Chilembe, representative for various organs of state, members of the BMA and border guards, and members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, here we are. The day we've been promised has arrived. And we are grateful, Mr. President, that within your busy schedule, you find it important and necessary to come and honor this occasion. The main purpose of today is for Mr. President, as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, to launch the Border Management Authority of South Africa as the third national armed law enforcement authority after the army and the police. Standing here before us are the country's key ambassadors who stand as the first officials that tourists and all visitors to South Africa meet when they arrive at our shores. In this launch, Mr. President, we have got a group of young border guards who have, like the first cohort introduced in July last year, undergone rigorous selection process that includes interviews, physical assessment, etc. Today, they start the journey as the border guards for deployment in any of the 72 ports of access to the country, be it land, air, or sea. Just to give you an idea, Mr. President, among the border guards who are standing in front of you here today is Miss Andile Mtetwa, the flag bearer for the Maritime Border Guards. She is from Bombela in Mpumalanga and has previously worked in the South African Navy. The Maritime Border Guards, Mr. President, are new. They are wearing blue uniforms, and there are 50 of them who have just been trained. We also have Ntokozo Nchangase from Impangeni in KwaZulu-Natal, who says in her own words, it is all about securing our border for development. She also worked in the South African Navy. We also have 23-year-old Tamaras Seratli from Zibidiela in Limpopo, who completed a diploma in policy management last year. He is well vested in various tactical law enforcement operations and is ready to implement various border laws in the border law enforcement area. This is just a sample of the type of people we want to perform this job. So it's an example of the skill set that has been attracted to the Border Management Authority. Additional to the conventional law enforcement team, Mr. President, the authority does have officers of various skill sets, ranging from immigration experts. From the 1st of April this year, all the immigration practitioners at our borders were transferred from the Department of Home Affairs to the Border Management Authority. We also have environmental biosecurity experts. All these experts from the Department of Environment, Forestry and Fisheries, who specialize in fauna and flora, has from the 1st of April been transferred to the Border Management Authority. We also have agricultural biosecurity experts. And again, Mr. President, from the 1st of April this year, all the experts in agriculture who decides what comes in and leaves the country in that field, they have been transferred to the Border Management Authority. And lastly, Mr. President, all the port health officials, many people, Mr. President, started knowing that there are health officials at our borders during COVID, when people were demanding certificates or vaccination or to see whether you have tested, you are positive or negative. Those are port health officials. They've been doing this work even during the time of Ebola and other diseases. From the 1st of April, they too have been transferred to the Border Management Authority. So we are thankful for all of them who have decided to join us as we incrementally implement the Border Management Authority. Only in November 2021, we started the process of establishing this Border Management Authority with the appointment of the Commissioner and the 2 Deputy Commissioners, Mr. President, who you are going to rank in a short while today. During that period, the Border Management Authority was incubated in the Department of Home Affairs as a branch. But as I said, from the 1st of April, they are now a standalone 3A entity of the state under the Border Management Authority. We are now well on the path towards the full realization of an integrated border management platform with a single command and control across our ports of entry and border law enforcement. Mr. President, before we establish the Border Management Authority, all these different groups I mentioned today, including the Army, of course, which I didn't mention, including SARS, which I didn't mention, all of them between them, they had to apply 58 acts of parliament at the borders. And it's one of the reasons why it was so difficult to control our borders. Now, under the BMA, they've got one command structure. The media once asked me, and I thought they were going to ask me for their benefit, I want to explain this. The issues of policy. When we transfer people from agriculture, environment, health, and immigration from Home Affairs, that does not mean, Mr. President, that the Border Management Authority then takes over the job of agriculture or health or environment. What it means is those departments will remain enacting policies, and all that the people who have been transferred to do is to implement those policies on the ground. As to what type of disease is allowed in South Africa or not, we can't determine that in the BMA. We don't have that skill. We will hear the Department of Health. They will say, we don't allow anybody with cholera We don't allow anybody who's not vaccinated. We don't allow anybody who comes here with COVID. All that the Port Health authorities do is to implement that. Same as agriculture, the Minister of Agriculture will still make all the policies and tell us that this one is foot and mouth, it's not allowed. Ours is to do. So we are implementers in the Border Management Authority. Mr. President, I'm indebted to the members of the Interministerial Consultative Committee on the Border Management who have diligently overseen the work of implementing the BMA. There is a group of 10 ministers who have formed this Interministerial Committee. Now, as you know, Mr. President, all the interministerial committees are appointed by yourself. This is the only interministerial committee you did not appoint, Mr. President, because it is appointed by an act of parliament. A law passed by parliament directly tells us who must be the minister in that interministerial committee. So it is the Minister of Home Affairs who is required to chair that committee. By law, it is the Minister of Defense, it is the Minister of Police, it is the Minister of State Security, it is the Minister of Finance, without whom I've learned that nothing happens, whether you like it or not. So you have got to kneel in front of him if you want things to happen. And I do that quite often, Mr. President. It is the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition. It is the Minister of Agriculture, as I've already said, Land Affairs and Rural Development. It is the Minister of Environmental Affairs, Forestry and Fishery. It is the Minister of Health. And it is the Minister of Transport. They are required by law to meet 4 times a year, statutorily, to determine the work of what must happen at the borders. But we also call them if the situation demands. That is the Interministerial Committee, Mr. President, a unique one for South Africa. Mr. President, Commissioner Mashia Pato and Deputy Commissioner Chilembe and Deputy Commissioner Tupani are aware of the task that awaits them. And so, Mr. President, we give them over to you to give them the marching orders as the Commander-in-Chief. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Minister Mtswaledi. I will now hand over to Commandant Antoinette Refilwe Matalane, who will then take us through the ranking of the Commissioner of the BMA and the two I will then hand over to Commandant Antoinette Refilwe Matalane to take us through the ranking of the Commissioner of the BMA and the 2 Deputy Commissioners. Over to you, Commandant.
Sir, I will now invite the Commissioner Designate and his 2 deputies to ascend the stage in the following order. Dr. Nakampe Michael Masia Pato, Commissioner. Ms. Jane Tupana, Deputy Commissioner, Corporate Services. General David Shilembe, Deputy Commissioner, Operations. The handing over of the sword to the Commissioner of BMA as a sign of power and authority will now commence. The sword symbolizes the following: the cross sword and staff with other insignia is used as a sign of rank in the BMA and is worn by person of the rank of Deputy Assistant Commissioner and higher. The staff is made up of an axe, which shows the ability to cut through untruth or prejudice, while the sword represents the bundle of sticks, which shows that together we stand stronger than individuals. In fact, the staff combined with the sword confirms that together they have greater power than they would if they were separated. In summary, the cross sword and staff represent the following 7 traits. Power. A sword represents a symbol of power which is given to the BMA in terms of an act of parliament. This power is exclusively used to protect South Africa's national interest and promote its national security. authority. The staff represents a symbol of authority which has since the Roman times been carried in front of a Roman magistrate, giving him or her the authority to govern. Similarly, in the BMA, the staff symbolizes authority that is vested in those members who have the honor of wearing it. Lawfulness and legality. The sword also represents the symbol of authority in all matters of law. Ms. Jane Tupana, Deputy Commissioner, Corporate Services. General David Shilembe, Deputy Commissioner, Operations. The handing over of the sword to the Commissioner of BMA as a sign of power and authority will now commence. The sword symbolizes the following: the cross sword and staff with other insignia is used as a sign of rank in the BMA and is worn by person of the rank of Deputy Assistant Commissioner and higher. The staff is made up of an X, which shows the ability to cut through untruth or
Minister of Home Affairs, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi. Ministers here present today, Deputy Ministers, Acting Premier of our province here in Limpopo, the Mayor of Musina, and also the District Mayor of Bembe, the Commissioner of the Border Management Authority, Dr. Pato, and Deputy Commissioners, traditional leaders who are here present with us, members of Parliament, including the Chair of the Portfolio Committee of Home Affairs, officials, guests, members of the media, and ladies and gentlemen. It is a real pleasure to be here in the northern part of our country to officiate on a most important launching of an important organ of our state. We're gathering here today to witness the fulfillment of a commitment that we made some time ago, that we will take steps to enhance the safety and the protection of the people of our country by establishing a single, integrated and efficient authority to manage and to secure the borders of the Republic of South Africa. As South Africans, we seek to live in peace and harmony with each other, as well as with our neighbors. Earlier today, this morning as I arrived, I paid a visit to the Beitbridge area and met President Mnangagwa. And through that brief meeting, we confirmed indeed that both of us as countries want to live in harmony with each other. And we confirmed that we seek a better life for all our people, free from fear and want. When our country's ports of entry and borders are well protected and well managed, we are able to prevent the illegal importation and exit of goods into and from our country. We are able to facilitate lawful trade at a greater scale and much more importantly, in an efficient manner. This is becoming increasingly important as we work with other countries in our region and elsewhere on the continent to increase intra-African trade, particularly as we begin to harness the benefits of the African Continental Free Trade Area. A more secure border is important for curbing illegal migration, the movement of people between countries on an illegal basis. It is important to curb human smuggling and trafficking. The Border Management Authority will help in combating cross-border crime as well. And that is why it becomes an important arm of our security apparatus. The Constitution of our country declares that South Africa belongs to all who live in it. All citizens have the right to enter, to remain in, and to reside anywhere in the Republic. As is the case in every sovereign country, foreign nationals who seek refuge or wish to live and work in South Africa are subject to immigration laws and regulations. The Border Management Authority is tasked to ensure that the country's immigration laws and regulations are upheld and that they are enforced. The BMA was established in response to a number of serious challenges. One of these challenges is the increase in the number of undocumented foreign nationals entering our country. This has exacerbated many of our country's social and economic problems. The movement of persons and goods at ports of entry has often not been as efficient as it should be. It has not often been as well as the people of South Africa expect it to be. And this has resulted in unnecessary delays and increased costs for individuals and those who trade. This in turn harms our economy. Deficiencies in border management have also enabled corruption and organized and cross-border crime to thrive and to grow and to increase. We have faced a problem of fragmentation of powers, responsibility and accountability. Since 1994, the country's border management has been exercised by different government departments and state agencies. Often they implement their own respective mandates in isolation, without proper coordination, without proper working together. Lack of that coordination, as well as inadequate information sharing between various management and enforcement authorities, have rendered our borders vulnerable. Because in the course of time, we have had the immigration authorities, as in Home Affairs, working in isolation from the Customs and Duties Authority, the police, South African police working separately, and the Defense Force working separately. Now, the Border Management Authority will provide a suitable solution to the structural challenges of border security, control and coordination. The Border Management Authority will be a new model of integration of functions, of integration of roles and responsibilities in the broader law enforcement environment to make sure that the movement of people and goods is properly managed, properly overseen, and properly regulated. The BMA is expected to tackle the challenges of congestion, delays that often happen at our borders, long queues, long transit times, lack of predictability, and high logistics costs. I commend the Border Management Authority for the speed with which it has already commenced its work. And I commend in this regard Minister Aaron Motsoaledi, his Deputy Minister, and all other Cabinet colleagues for the work that they have done through the Interministerial Committee to make sure that we get to this point. This Border Management Agency will form part of integrating border management activities in the SADC region as well, as we implement the African Continental Free Trade Area. We will be able to work towards eradicating various forms of red tape that are hindering free trade as well as investment and the movement of people. The BMA will be redeveloping 6 ports of entry as one-stop border posts. This approach will improve efficiency at land border crossings by combining the stops required for processing exit and entry formalities. In July, we saw the deployment of the first officers of the Border Guard of the Border Management Authority at vulnerable segments of the borderline, including the informal community crossing points. While the Border Guard will be conducting border law enforcement functions, including access control, the South African National Defence Force remains responsible for border protection and safeguarding. They remain responsible for securing the safety of the people of South Africa. The Border Guard will interface with the police through the nearest police station with regards to the occurrence of a crime at any port of entry. The BMA is now, as you heard from Minister Motsoaledi, the 3rd armed service in South Africa after the South African National Defence Force and the South African Police Service. It is mandated to perform border management functions within ports of entry as well as the law enforcement area. So we are establishing and launching today this BMA through an incremental approach. Steps have already been taken to integrate under the Border Management Authority various relevant functions of the Departments of Home Affairs, Agriculture, Health, Fisheries and Forestry and the Environment. To enable its work, the BMA has signed implementation protocols, that is agreements, with the South African Revenue Service, that is SARS, the Police Service, and the Defense Force. I do therefore congratulate the Border Management Authority Commissioner and his two deputies who have received their ranks today, and as you saw, I even handed over a sword to the commissioner. As I stood in front of him and he took out that sword, I hesitated for a moment, wondering what he's going to do. But that is a sword of authority to enable them to execute their work. We wish them well, and I'd like all of you who are going to work with them to support them. They have my full support as the Commander-in-Chief, and they have the full support of the Minister as well. Ensuring our borders are well managed and well protected is key to the security and development of our country. In undertaking this task, I'd like them to ensure that they have the support and the trust also of the people of South Africa, who will also be moving through our borders. We want you to give them the support and the respect because they are executing their duties, their responsibilities and authority on behalf of the people of South Africa. Let us now move forward with operationalizing this authority in pursuit of a safer, more prosperous South Africa. I thank you all who are here, who are standing at attention, as the members of the BMA, braving the heat of Musina, which is almost 40 degrees. I can now see that you are really men and women who are made of sterner stuff, and I congratulate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. The national anthem will now be played. Members in uniform must salute in conjunction with members on parade. Members in civilian clothes must remove their headdresses. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem.
Hey! Out of time! Hey! National salute! Salute!
Thank you, President. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
Hey! Hey!
Ladies and gentlemen, I will now call upon the District Mayor of Vemle, Councillor Dowelani Alten Nenguda, to deliver the vote of thanks. Councillor.
Program Director.
Number one platoon! Five, good! Check!
Number 2 platoon! Hey, slide!
Check! Right! Check!
Number 3 platoon! Oh, stop!
Check! What? Number 2 platoon!
Ya endile ngodofisana nibe nikhambona so ndinga mathekwana. Ya. Ya.
Papa, rikotuwa musi.
Ayo kombini, wesile kombini.
Aribone phuphu igayi, uphizini. Ukubotana nami.
Kodwa udabala.
Adana kholo.
Awutaba yochisa kholo standard.
Thank you.
To make sure we're not quarreling.
This one also? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It lands us in Chile.
Bilateral.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hello. Take your pets.
Come on, baby.
Hello.
Very much. Thank you.
It's all right.
They used to be the Home Affairs.
They used to be immigration. So how many people do you process? A day? A day?
My friend.
A day when I'm saying when I'm busy. And when you are busy, how much? 28. Yeah, there's one day when we are checking and we find that in a week, we do one time, one day, very big business.
Going this way.
Yeah, when you are there, you have to that's it.
Now, how many hours do you operate?
Shift. In my shift, I'm able to processing those shift back to the other shift. Those who are processing end up finding that there are 60 and the rest is
Also on the other side.
And the confiscated ones?
They are in Musina. We've got a warehouse where we've got.
All the confiscated ones are moving north.
Can you go one or something?
Oh, you're not in charge of Libombo?
I've moved now.
Because I found you in Libombo.
Yes. There's
They
another.
moved you here.
Yes.
Promotion or what?
Yes, it's a promotion.
It's a pleasure for me to receive President Mnangagwa on the South African side, and in a few minutes he will receive me on the Zimbabwean side. So we are here on an inspection, border inspection, to come and see how our two borders are functioning, because there are so many people, visitors from both countries, who cross the border. I'm told sometimes it's up to 18, 20,000 people a day. And so we want to ensure that our two border processes function well as to enhance ease of movement of our people and ease of movement of goods, so that trade between the two countries can be improved. So this is an inspection visit by both of us. And we're very pleased to see you all in this baking hot sun of Musina here in Limpopo and also on the Zimbabwe side. Thank you.
President Mnangagwa. There was some family chat. In that chat, my dear brother told me he was coming to this place on the 5th of October. And was going to inspect this side of the border. Then I said, I think it's an opportunity for us to meet, because there will only be a river between him and me. Why don't I also come on the same day, come to your side, look at your side, and then we go across and you can look at my side. If the two of us continuously meet and chat, why should not our people at the border have the same relationship? What we can see here and what we are going to see on the Zimbabwe side, we want these two units or entities to talk to each other as good as the two presidents talk to each other. That's why I am here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy the sun here.
Okay.
Still, Chakwe down.
Right.
Where can you put the ministers? Yes, of course.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
We'll be right after.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yo. How are you?
Something from where?
Let's allow him to.
Passage.
Allow the minister.
I see the 20 officials. And the end here, the intermediate is not individual, and you can have.
Get inside. After this one is aligned. Sorry? Which one is one? This one is one. Give us a little bit of space so that the truck can. So what happens is so what happens because of this we are still down there with this format. So those which are higher risk, like this one you cannot see from outside. So this is what we do down here. Those which are clear is that. So we're going to do a demonstration of this one. So we want it to align inside the scanner.
And then where?
Align.
When the scanning to the driver
It is the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition. It is the Minister of Agriculture.
Over to you, Commandant.